Hello, everybody. We are back again for another year with Felicia White, who's kind enough to join us as she's the executive producer of the Great Christmas Light Fight. Appreciate everybody being in the chat today. Looks like we got a lot of people here already. Felicia, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me again. I'm really happy to speak with you and your lovely group.
We have a big group. We have a big group indeed. So I do this year round, and you do this as a TV show. So for the folks that don't know, so the people who are just tuning in, like, what's this all about? Can you remind the folks who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so my name is Felicia Aaron White. I am an executive producer and I produce all sorts of competition shows and game shows. I also develop them. And multiple times a year, I get to work on an amazing Christmas show for ABC called The Great Christmas Light Fight. And that's what we're here to talk about.
Heck yeah, it is. What's the mission of the show? What's the purpose of the show? For when folks think Great Christmas Light Fight, what is it you're wanting to think, to see, and know?
Yeah, the Great Christmas Light Fight is a competition, but really what it is a showcase of amazing families all across the country who bring joy to their communities by decorating their houses to the extreme for Christmas. And it's really a holiday family friendly show that you can watch. One of our other executive producers always says you can watch it while you're wrapping gifts, getting ready for the big day. Yeah, little holiday cheer.
Awesome. So this is the 11th season that's coming up. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
we are airing the 11th season this December.
Awesome. What has changed? What's the biggest change from season one, episode one, to what we're going to see this year?
Oh my goodness, so much. So first, I want to say that there is a fantastic, amazing team of brilliant producers that were behind bringing this to the table. And so I think the idea originated at ABC. I believe Joey Tagg, who was an executive there, had a lot to do with bringing that to fruition. And we were, Fremantle, our production company, was tasked with figuring out how to put it on and how to make it happen for this Christmas. And that was probably in, I don't know, I got the call in September. So we had just months to figure out 6 episodes of this totally new format. And we were all new to Christmas lights and Christmas decorating. So it was a whirlwind experience. I was brought on just to be a consultant for a few weeks and I never left because it was
Nice.
all hands on deck to figure it out. And as we did it over the years, of course, we became entrenched more in the Christmas community and understood better what it is to decorate. For example, the first year, we all came from game shows, so we thought there had to be really strict rules, right? And so we gave the contestants 21 days to put up their entire display. They had to start blank slate with nothing. We would never do that now. In fact, we started getting rid of those rules very quickly. We started understanding the world of decorating and how extreme and big they can go if we don't put handcuffs on them, if we just let them do their thing. And so there's no time limit now. We have learned to be more efficient in our filming. We are in the family's hair a little less. We're not at their property quite as much. We trust them to do a little filming for us, home diary videos as they decorate so that they can do their thing. And we just show up when it's beautiful and magical.
That's a great point there, that you show up when it's already done. 21 days blows my mind. I start hanging lights in September. So 21 days, that's an all hands on deck type of situation there. One question we had from the viewers, what is we get to see these amazing shows on the show. Is there any behind the scenes footage or any place we can go to see more? If like somebody says, hey, I really like the Marshall family Christmas, I want to see more of that. Is there somewhere that there's more footage of by chance?
Well, funny you should ask. So we are coming out with our second clip show very soon. And maybe there will be a chance to see some unaired footage on that. For people who'd missed it the first time, we did a clip show that recapped the first 5 seasons. and we gave out all-star awards for people who did amazing jobs, but maybe didn't necessarily win their particular episode. But in our view, in our recap, we think they had the best use of color or the best use of synchronization, etc. So we'll be doing that again for seasons 6 through 10, and that will air this year. So you might have an opportunity to see a little unaired footage there. We will see. We have not started editing that yet.
Very cool. Now, I don't know if this, speaking of new things this year, is anything else new that's popping up this year?
Yes. So happy you asked. I am not just overseeing casting for the Great Christmas Light Fight Season 12. We are also actively preparing to film the Great Halloween Fright Fight. Yes, we have brought it back. And so every episode, 4 home haunts and families of haunters will compete for a very cool jack-o'-lantern trophy. We did one special 9 years ago, and we're so excited that ABC has brought it back. It's going to be a little different this time. It's all home haunts, and they're absolutely incredible, out of this world, so fantastic. And I have to do a quick shout out to all the haunters out there. There were so many good applications. I myself went through at least 200 applications, not to mention hundreds of more that we ran out of time for. There's so much great talent in the haunting world, and we're really hopeful that this is a new trend and we'll get to do more episodes.
Very cool. So yeah, that's one question I get a lot. Like, hey, I'm having Felicia back on this year. You guys have any questions? That's one question I get a ton. Is, hey, are they going to bring back the haunted portion? There's a lot more haunters, I think, than there are Christmas light decorators. But either way, we're extreme holiday enthusiasts, so that's very cool. You're bringing that back.
Yeah, and kudos to all the people who do both. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, the turnaround there is just amazing,
isn't it? And some people, when they're on our show for Great Christmas Light Fight, they're like, but what about my Halloween display? And I always try to convince them, just this one year, please focus on your Christmas display, right? Because you only get to be on the show once. And yeah, hopefully this year we'll have some great haunters, and then we'll have some great Christmas light people.
So I've been to conventions before, and the holiday or the extreme decorated community is kind of it's kind of an all hands on deck. If somebody needs help, I think it's a very giving community. What have you seen in either yourself or your casting directors or casting agents or people to do with the show? What impact have you seen the show have on the extreme holiday lighting industry over the course of the show?
Yeah, we were really amazed. I think it was second season we started worrying, are we going to run out of displays that are good enough? We don't know how big this community is. We really didn't have a good sense, one, because we were newcomers, and two, because I think the community was also still banding together and still finding online platforms and really finding their voice. And so it's been amazing to see that community grow in tandem as we grow. And, we can't take all the credit for that. That's totally on the community. But we've seen amazing support through all of the various forums and conferences. And we love meeting and greeting everyone. And what's amazing is we stopped worrying years ago if we're going to have enough talent. There is so much out there, and we think we've had a little to do with perpetuating new interest, right? Because the show is watched by people who would have never thought to do this until they saw our show. But then also it's really kudos to the community because they're so welcoming, because they do take time to help each other. And from that's where the new talent grows. And for that reason, we can keep casting. So symbiotic.
Speaking of talent, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. My daughter Haley, God love her, she's in a committed relationship, but my daughter Tommy is not. She said, "Hey, ask Felicia if she can hook me up with Michael B. Jordan." I said, "Okay, I'll ask. I think he's single. I don't know. Google says he's single." But speaking of talent, though, what is the one celebrity you would like to see come on the show, be it as a guest host, or it's a celebrity who happens to do a big haunt or a big Christmas show? Is there any celebrity wish list for you?
Yeah, absolutely. There are so many celebrities who love Christmas and love giving back to their community. I think there would definitely be a lot of good pairings, but my personal preference would be Jamie Foxx, because I just worked with him for Beat Shazam, and he is an amazing, kind and considerate person who also loves Christmas. He loves decorating his house and throwing big Christmas parties and giving back to his community. And I think he would be amazing on the show.
Very cool. Well, Jamie Foxx, this is your official invitation to come on the Great Christmas Fight. Yeah, that's right. Charlie is asking you to come on the show. If he doesn't take that as an invitation, I don't think he's going to come on the show. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I'll get the courage to ask him.
One question we got from the viewers is, we touched on this last year. We asked this last year. What's the criteria to get on the show? How does somebody get discovered? What are you guys looking for? From A to B, I put lights up in my house, and my goal is to be on your show. How does that happen?
Yeah. Okay, great. So, oh no, I just lost you. Where did you go? There you are. StreamYard. Sorry. So lightfightcasting.com is where you can apply, and we've made it now a very simple form to fill out. And it's really important that you go on and let us know you're interested, right? We don't know unless you tell us. If you've applied in the past and you have an email address from one of our casting producers, feel free to reach out to them and remind them that you're interested. We always need new footage. What we are looking for are unique and different displays. So we've been doing this show for so many years now that what really stands out is if it's different, right? We've seen a ton of synchronized light shows and we love them, and we always want to have a certain, at least a decent representation on the show. However, if you also incorporate animatronics, or you have a really clear theme, or you're doing cutting edge stuff with 3D printing or projection mapping or drones, that might push you above a traditional synchronized display. Because remember, this is not just for, we don't just do this show for the amazing Christmas enthusiasts out there. We do it for everybody, people who don't put up any lights. And so we need a big variety. So unique, different, bigger, better is always what we're looking for. Don't get discouraged if you have a small display. Small displays are still lovely if you have a clear aesthetic, or you have a clear point of view, a unique perspective.
So speaking of that, he was in the chat earlier. Let me see if I can find him. So every year I do a fan appreciation award. Throughout the year, fans will send me footage of their Christmas lights, of course, but their Halloween display, their 4th of July display, their St. Patrick's display. And Giatano Mato, who's in the chat today, says I made it right there. He was actually the winner of our first ever award 2 years ago. And one of your casting directors, AJ, just reached out and said, hey, send an invitation to him to try out for the show. So we're excited that we're kind of putting everybody together in one episode today. So I'm proud of that somebody we had that won our show is up for consideration to possibly be on yours.
Absolutely. And we take nominations too. That's an even shorter little submission form. So feel free for all of your viewers to go to lightfightcasting.com and submit any nominations they'd like to do.
One question Kurt had on our Discord channel is he wanted to know that from the beginning, it's called the Great Christmas Light Fight. He's noticed that a lot of folks will just have decorations versus lights. Has there ever been any kind of talk about separating the two and having one that's holiday decorations that versus having one that's just lights and one decorations? Has there been any conversation about splitting that?
Yeah. So like I had just mentioned, we really do this show for all ABC viewers, whether you celebrate Christmas or not, whether you put up decor or not, whether you are into lighting or not. And so think about it from their perspective. The most interesting episode is going to have a range of diverse and different displays and families and aesthetics and styles, techniques. If we just did all synchronized light shows, I don't think it would grab as many non-Christmas enthusiasts as even though I know the synchronized light community would love that, and I'm sorry, but I think we have to do this for everybody.
Fair enough. Jackson would like to know, when is the show filmed?
Yeah, so we film in November and December, a year prior to airing. And the reason we do this is the first 5 years we did it the same year of airing, but we had to make them do it way early in the summertime and fall, in order to have it on the air in time. So we were blessed that ABC had confidence in us, and we did a double season, years 5 and 6, and got a year ahead. And that saves everyone from having to put up their lights so early.
Fair enough. Rob is asking if you could add more episodes.
We would love to. Please write ABC and tell them your request.
Yes, ABC at abc.com, probably. So we touched on the celebrities. Jamie Foxx is on your wish list. Has there been anybody who's ever gotten away? Like you were going to film at a certain house, but something happened, you had to cancel last minute? Has there been any decorators that you just couldn't film even though you really wanted to?
So rarely, but occasionally it does happen. Whether it's for health reasons, they have to drop out. We've unfortunately had an HOA issue where they weren't on good terms. There's things that very rarely, occasionally happen. And that's why we have amazing alternates. If you get asked to be an alternate on the show, know that we believe you're good enough. We just didn't have enough spots. And it's a great position to be in. So many alternates have gone on to either be on the show that same year, or we keep them in mind for future seasons. And when they're eventually on the show, many of them have won. So if you ever are lucky enough to be asked to be an alternate, know that it's not a negative thing. It's actually, you get a little insider peek before you hit the stage. And for some people, that's been very successful.
Question we had from Josh on our Patreon page is he has a backyard display. He has a bunch of acres. He has a walkthrough display. I've always kind of thought of it more like a Botanica, where you go to Botanica, you kind of walk around, you see the different things, versus cross between a Botanica and maybe like a haunted house where you walk through. So he has a large walkthrough display. His question was about the reveal. When you have a situation where you can't do the reveal because you can't see it from the street, how do you film that sort of situation?
So we've had quite a few displays where we can't film it properly from the street, or at least get the best view from the street. And so we have to start in the backyard or the side yard. And we always figure that out. There's always a solution. If you have a great display, do not worry about logistics. That's our job. We will figure that out. Just apply and we will see the footage and figure out how to make you look beautiful.
Question from Rob. Has anything ever caught on fire during the show?
Not that I can think of. Actually, there was one year where there was a very small freak fire, but we are always prepared. We have a team that knows what to do. It actually had nothing to do with us or the family. It was a complete separate thing. And the family was very prepared. Everyone sprung into action. It was no issue. I don't know if I'm supposed to reveal that, but things happen. We take safety and protocols very seriously. All of our contestants will tell you that we put them through quite a lot of logistical planning to make sure that if something goes wrong, that no one gets hurt.
Fair enough. And that's a good segue into Haas from Offkilter Homestead's question. Do you require entrants to install their own lights, or are you cool with professionals installers being hired?
Great question. So in the beginning of this series, we used to make them do it all in front of us on camera for, I told you the crazy time frame. We realized that it's better to let everyone do what they normally do. So we are more there, a fly on the wall, to document your process. If you normally hire help, hire help. If you normally have volunteers, do it. If you want to do it all yourself and insist on making it hard on yourself, go for it. Whatever works for you. We are not there to interfere with anyone's creativity.
Fair enough. What is your perfect episode? You can wave your magic wand and, well, first of all, let me backtrack a minute. If I know shows win awards, Golden Globes, Oscars, what do TV shows win? Is that the Emmy?
That's the Emmy.
So in order to win an Emmy, you want to win an Emmy, or by chance, by God, you're going to, what's a perfect episode look like that's Emmy worthy that you could wave your magic wand and it just happens?
Well, I really do hope we win an Emmy someday. I think we've had lots of good episodes, and we're nominated for a reality television awards right now, which you can vote on. So go to, I think it's RTVA's or no, Artes.com to vote for us.
Artes.com. Okay.
Artes.com, ARTAS. Anywho, back to your question. For me, a fantasy episode is where the 4 displays, as I've said before, are so incredibly distinct. They all have clear themes or styles that are different from each other. The families and their stories are all very different from each other. Everyone's coming from all walks of life. I even love it when we have contestants who, don't celebrate Christmas. Maybe we've had Muslim contestants, we've had Jewish contestants, we've had people who are just like really love giving back to their community. And I think to me, what that all means is that Christmas, no matter what you celebrate, brings people together to do beautiful, creative, interesting things. And that's what I want to see.
I love that answer. That's a great answer. And like I said, I say this all the time, that the Christmas light community is a great community. We help each other out. Hey, I need 5 sets of C7 LED greens. Okay, well, here you go. You can borrow them. So fun fact. So what do you see as the up and coming tech? Is that you mentioned drones, and I know the name is drawing a blank. He's in Florida, the #1 Christmas light guy. And I can't think of his name, but drones are becoming a huge thing right now. Projection mapping is getting big. What tech are you seeing that's kind of dominating and that's new right now?
Yeah, so we would love to see more interesting drones and projection mapping. I think projection mapping, especially because it's a little more accessible to people than, say, drones are financially. So I would love to see more people do creative and unique things with that rather than just like buy graphics and throw them up there. And I also think we can learn a lot from the haunters. As we are producing the Great Halloween Fright Fight, we're seeing really inventive design build techniques that totally could be applied to Christmas with the right intentions. So even the world of animatronics is really impressive in the haunting community. And I would love to see someone build animatronic Santa just as well as they do the skeletons or, that type of thing.
What Rob has another question. What type of things are you guys looking for going forward that you haven't seen in the show yet? Is there anything you're seeing from the haunters? I guess you just kind of touched on that a little bit. The anime.
Well, I don't know if I'm frozen or you're frozen.
Is there anything you're looking forward to that's making its way into the Christmas industry that you haven't seen yet? You kind of answered that with animatronics. Is there anything else?
I really look to you guys to inform us. We learned.
Looks like she's a little.
Oh,
I'm sorry. What? You're good. Go. You're good.
Sorry, I think we have a delay. Yeah, we learned so much from all the expos in the community. I would look to you guys for the same question, but I think inventiveness and new uses of theme, right? I would love to see you can use technology to incorporate your theme. Maybe you have 100 Santa blow molds, but how do you turn your house into Santa? Just an idea. I'm just saying we can use technology to have more consistent themes.
Now, Haas he is a member of the, and correct me, Haas, if I get this wrong, he's a member of the Bearded Santas of America Guild, I think. Has there been any talk about ever having professional Santas on there as the judge, or you guys, are the judges staying the same this year, or any new TV personalities on this year?
Yeah, no, we're excited to welcome back Tanya and Carter. They love this job so much. It's so much more than a job to them. It fulfills them. They're excited and eager to come back with fresh perspectives and real curiosity every year. So we're thrilled to have them. And, if I work on a celebrity angle, I'll let you know, but that's really ABC. And sorry, I've lost your question.
Oh, no, you're good. He's a member. Every year, Haas, who is a public school teacher in Florida, he will dye his beard white about this time every year. So by the time it comes around to Christmas, he's ready to go to the schools and everything else. So but my first question was, has there ever been any thought about having professional Santas on there as the judge? And then I kind of changed it midstream to ask about the current judges. So
right. Yes. So we have lots of our families use professional Santas as part of their display or their reveal night event. And we feel like that's the most organic way to incorporate them. Fun little insider information. is, of course, the Santas driving the trophies are real, but they also happen to be the owners of those cool classic cars.
So they just happen to look like Santa all the time. That's amazing. I wonder if that's a requirement to have a vintage car. Awesome. See here. Steve is asking, after you submit and see the show, is there any recommendation of needing more, changing more? So if they send you a tape or they say, hey, here's what I have to offer, do you ask, hey, can you make tweaks?
Yeah, so we have an amazing team of casting producers led by Kristen Moss, and we try to give personalized feedback whenever possible. I'll be honest, we get hundreds of submissions, so it's not always possible. But if we get to a level where we're communicating with you, and especially if you get to the point where you actually get to interview for ABC, then we'll definitely give you customized feedback. We also have added on our website some tips on how to improve your submissions, and those almost always apply to everyone. Getting better footage, making sure it's lit properly. Like some people, even though we're filming Christmas lights, that's very hard to do, as everyone in the community knows. And so sometimes it's just a matter of getting us better footage, or in many cases, it's also a matter of adding more.
Yeah. Filming Christmas lights is, I had to buy a certain type of camera to capture the lights correctly. LED lights do not go well on camera, and you have to really know what you're doing with the settings to capture it correctly. Patrick on our Facebook portion of this is asking anywhere to bring back the crowds. Great question, Patrick.
That is a great question. So we did stop doing crowds during the pandemic. It felt like the safest thing to do for everyone. We are constantly debating it, and we'll see. I think we might take a more tailored approach moving forward, where, the group of invitees are more selective and related to the family's logistical, neighborhood, etc. situation. We'll see. I don't know if crowds will ever come back. I don't want to say no or yes, because it's a constant discussion. But we think for now, we're going to do what feels best and most manageable, given the new times. Things are just different and evolving constantly with our production schedule.
I remember watching, I think it was your first season, and I'm sitting there, I've got 18 layers on, I'm hanging lights, it's 20 degrees out, and I got to go inside and watch the show, and people are hanging lights in shorts. I'm like, Florida people, I mean, come on. So yeah, there's different weather and different crowds. Kind of like one year, all the crowds were in shorts. I'm like, oh, that's gotta be nice.
Well, remember also the first 5 seasons we filmed in August and September, so that was a factor as well.
Robert's got a question for you. Do you cater the judge to the display, artistic display versus heavy DIY, or is it just a random draw? So how do you pick which judges see which house?
Yeah, so what we do is we pair the families together in clusters of 4 that we think will make for the best episodes. And then we see which judges' schedules can fit which episodes. So we would never just specifically put a family with a particular judge, because that would feel a little unfair to the competing families, if that makes sense.
It does, yeah. So the trophy. Whose idea was that? Was that your idea, or whose idea was the trophy and its design?
Yeah, so mostly my idea. So that was one of and I just have to do a shout out. I don't do any of this alone. We have an amazing team. We have 2 other executive producers and people who've been with us for years, but I can take credit for the trophy. Our first season, we're, piecing this thing together really fast. And I said, it would be so cool if we could have a snow globe of everyone's house with that is made to look like their house lit up in lights. Okay, that was too ambitious.
That would be awesome, though.
We had to scale it back. And so from there, it was, okay, a snow globe with illuminated lights, but let's make the snow globe look like a light bulb. And we had this amazing prop maker that I had worked with before who came up with the design. And I will tell you, it was a disaster. They all were leaking. And so the snow globe quickly just turned into minus the snow globe part. So it stayed the same light bulb structure with the bouquet of illuminated lights in the center, but no more snow. And it's been very successful ever since.
Very nice. That trophy is talked about, I think, by all of us in the community. That'd be awesome to get that one day. Let's see here. Oh, go back to the comments. Let's see. I don't think we're all caught up on the questions in the chat. If anybody has any questions, let's hear them real quick. We won't keep you too long. I do appreciate you coming on the show. There's not too many. There's me. There's David from Learn Christmas Lighting, who's Pixels, but there's not too many guys who do year-round shows about Christmas lights. So I appreciate you taking the time sincerely and coming on the show. I know you're a busy woman and busy in the industry with your career, but yeah, sincerely, thank you for coming on the show and chatting with us in the hobby.
Thank you so much. And I'll drop in the Facebook chat the links to apply, but please, everyone, yes, lightfightcasting.com. Kristen stole it out of my mouth. That is our wonderful casting director, and she's fantastic.
Oh, very nice. And Kristen also was kind enough to give us that vote for the American Reality Awards. Everybody go on there and vote today. I know I will when we're done here today.
Yes. Thank you so much. We appreciate your support, and everyone have a great Christmas in July.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you later, Felicia.
Bye.
Let me get my big old thing going here, and we will get out of Dodge. I appreciate, again, everybody coming on here today. And thank you so much. Bye, guys.